Hello, Phil Morse here at DigitalDJTips.com. I'm going to give you a hands-on view of these speakers, and I'm actually going to get my hands on them. They are the Pioneer S-DJ50X, and I'm going to unplug it. I've been messing around with them here at Digital DJ Tips for the last half hour or so to give you a proper view of them. So let's get them unplugged. Bang! Bring one over here to show you. Okay, so it is a DJ monitor speaker. It's got a 5-inch bass speaker here, which is why they're called the S-DJ50X as opposed to the 60 or the 80X, which are the bigger brothers in this range. And they are designed for DJs who want something high quality to use at home to DJ with. The videos that they show these being, the promo videos, they've got them being kind of like hulked around to parties and stuff. Don't do it, folks. These have got exposed speakers here. Parties are places where people get drunk and poke things into speakers, and also volumes get pushed higher than they should. Use a PA system at a party. It's up to you if you want to break that rule, but I've seen so many speakers blown up. Anyway, little rant over. These, for me, are made to be used at home by DJs. Now, while they're not up there with monitor speakers, professional monitor speakers that cost a lot more than these, which are designed for pure transparency, so you can produce being very, very sure of every nuance of the sound. These are more lumped in with the speakers, which are a step above, simple hi-fi stuff, as in standard hi-fi stuff, not the high-end stuff, but below that kind of monitor range. They're sat somewhere in the middle, and they're going to be fine for all your DJ practicing, for doing your re-edits and your mashups, for production as well. But then you'll start to see the limitations, and maybe as you become a great producer, you're going to want to replace them with something more expensive. However, for 9 DJs out of 10, you're never going to want anything more than this, quality-wise or volume-wise. So let's talk about what we've got. We've got front ported. That means there's a hole here for the bass to come out. It means you can tuck them closer to a wall. And they have got a little diffuser here. That's what that little disc is, just to diffuse the treble a little bit and give you a wider sweet zone where it all sounds good. And they've got the same kind of woven woofer bass speaker that you get on the KRK Rockets. They're very similar in looks to the KRK Rocket, apart from the kind of iconic white here, as opposed to the equally iconic yellow on the KRKs. And they are bi-amplified, which is technically different amplifier for each of those speakers that you can see there. Better sound quality, that's what you need to know about that. So around the back, they're heavy, they're well made, they've got this padding on the bottom to isolate them a little bit and keep them still on your desk. Around the back, we have at the top a level meter here, level control, which is your volume. Below that is a high frequency adjust. Some speakers have a low frequency adjust as well. This just has a high frequency. Now that ain't a tone control or a treble control or anything like that. It's just a very slight adjustment, so you can attenuate or boost the high frequencies just that little bit, which is enough to compensate for the room you're in, as opposed to compensating for the particular track that you're listening to or music or whatever. It's kind of a one-off set and forget. Below that is this little switch for the auto standby. That's quite a nice little feature that will turn off if there's no music and turn on again when you start playing again. If you're always forgetting to turn your speakers off, that's a good one. There's 3 inputs there: unbalanced RCA, balanced TRS and XLR. The unbalanced RCA is where you would plug in just your normal the red and white leads out the back of your DJ controller. One of them would go into this speaker and one would go into the other, because these speakers are completely independent. They're completely identical. You buy 2 of them. They've both got their own power supplies. They both work separately. So that's why you would have one mono input going into each. But the balanced outputs as well, if you've got some pro gear and you've got balanced inputs to go to those, are there. Down at the bottom here, power on off, and the standard kind of big kettle lead, as we call them in the UK, and your voltage selector. So that's about it. It is a purist speaker in the sense that there's no remote control, there's no linking between the 2 speakers, so their volume controls are independent. It's set up in very, very much the same way as a studio monitor, but the price tag isn't there. They're not the same cost as a high-end studio monitor, and they don't claim to be pure transparent sound. However, let's move on to what they do sound like. I've had 2 of them set up here, been using them with a Vestax VCI 380 controller, which has got a great sound card in it, and Serato DJ, and they rock, they pump. They've got, for a speaker this size, they've got wonderful bass. There's a lot of weight there, and they're quite deep. They've got wonderful bass, really crisp and clear treble, and overall they're just a nice sound. You want to turn them up, which is always good. certainly for DJing practice at home, there's all the volume you could ever want there, and the quality's there as well. I highly recommend them. Now, we've had, since we reviewed the bigger brothers, the 60s and the 80s, which sound fuller and obviously go louder, but since we reviewed those, I honestly cannot see a difference between these and the KRKs, which are the other big kind of competitor in that area. I've had people reacting to the reviews of the other speakers saying that they prefer the Pioneers, other people saying that they prefer the KRKs. You know, with speakers, it's such a personal thing. If you can't hear them before you buy them, you're not going to go wrong. I don't think you're going to go wrong. But if you do get a chance to hear them, get down to a shop, listen to these, listen to the competitors, and trust your ears. As with everything in DJing, please trust your ears. Your ears are right, and no two people will hear the same thing the same way either. And the way you set them up is important as well. The way you set speakers up in your room is probably more important than the speakers that you set up there, as long as you bought wisely in the first place. So Mini ran over about positioning and about choosing speakers to suit you. These are a lovely speaker. If you like the look of them, if you want Pioneer maybe to pair with Pioneer gear, or you just like the brand, they're great. They work well, and I can recommend them. So the full review of this is at digitaldjtips.com. Thank you for watching this short overview.